It's a busy day of NFL trades. Randomly, the Browns got active in the trade market. I think a move not many of us expected, and more defensive tackles on the move, some wide receivers going elsewhere. Maybe an indication of how the next 6 or 7 days are going to go leading up to Tuesday's roster cutdown day. It's going to be busy across the NFL. Brad Ward and I are going to talk through the Browns' decision to make the trade they made today and then talk through the 53-man defense prediction that was posted to the site today as well. So stick around, check out the latest Browns Film Breakdown podcast. What up, everybody? Welcome in. It's August 21st already. I don't know how the first 21 days of this month have flown by. Brad, I sent my kiddo off to second grade today, man. That was a little more than you ever expect. They look older. First grade to second grade, there's just it just looks like an older dude now, man. And it messed with my morning, messed with my my emotions, as they say.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So they're doing these staggered starts now where they do like a third of the class goes one day, a third the next, a third the next, and they all come together on Monday and go. So it's got 2 more days off, 2 more summer days. We'll maybe do something fun for him. But yeah, his school time's rocking and rolling. And I don't know about you up toward Cleveland, but it was nice, cool, kind of, almost fall evening tonight. I was outside pitching him some balls out there, throwing some for him, and I was like, man, it kind of feels like there's a game on Football Friday night this week. So
there is, yeah. Jacket weather is wonderful. I like jacket weather, so I can dig that. And I forget. My son is 20 now, so I forget the emotional impact of him going away to school at the end of summer. But that's a big deal. Especially in elementary school, and then
you're like at the get out of here for a while age.
Yeah, like it's just you're just building up. Like it's just gonna get more emotional with every step. I'm at the stage where it's like
Stop eating all of our food, dude. You go get an apartment. Come on, what are we doing here? He's like, you're like, you ever seen the movie Step Brothers? Let's have a talk. That kind of thing.
No, I'm just kidding. He could stay here as long as he wants. He's a good kid for sure.
Yeah.
Better kid than I was at his age.
That's the joke we got. The running joke is that they'll just occupy our basement forever.
Yeah.
It seems like the destiny at this point.
If his mother could have her way, that's what she would have. Is he would stay here for eternity. So somebody's got to do the pushing around here. So
right, man. I think our wives would get along just fine because they share the same theory on that. Well, listen, it was a relatively quiet day. Camp came and went. Pretty strange question to Myles Garrett about how he feels going fast. I mean, I'm fine with I'm not even going to talk about who asked it. I mean, I'm fine with like the general question about something that happened to someone off the field, but like the nature of that question was so strange. You don't really have to search very hard on social media to find it if you'd like to. It's kind of out there. But it was just basically, how do you feel when you're going that fast? Myles is like, I'm not here to talk about that. So other than that, there were some clips the Browns released, but we're just not going to know much. We're not going to know much. What we did learn is Denzel Ward is seemingly okay. He's day to day. I don't think he'll play this weekend, quite obviously. No. He doesn't need to. Neither does Myles this weekend. But I think what we are going to see is roster decisions start. And we really got that start. I was in the middle of writing that 53-man defense prediction. And I'm telling you, I was writing the safeties, like summary of who I was keeping. I'm like, oh, man, that's something. That's a choice. The Browns decided to ship Jowon Briggs off for a couple of future late round picks. I think it's you might have it in front of you, Brad. I don't have it in front of me. I think it's 2-6, like a 6 this year and swapping a 7th the following year. I'll let you find that exact trade, but it's not much.
Thing. I thought it was Briggs and a 7th for the 6th.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're swapping up around and giving a player up. So
yep.
This is the one we're spending the most time on. Yeah, you got it specifically.
It's Buffalo's pick that we're trading away. So
that's right.
Not that it means a ton, but it probably is one of the last picks in the draft, if anything. You know what I mean? Buffalo tends to be, picking later, and it's in the 7th round. So it's not much of a draft asset you're giving up. Briggs is the big piece here, right? And then you get the Jets 2026 sixth back.
Mhm.
It's a weird trade.
That's
I
it
think
too.
it
My eyebrows are just like yours right now, where I was like reading that, and there are these trades that happen where our founders channel will drop that news in before I have seen it or like had any chance to think about it, and I
yeah,
didn't see that coming. Like
no,
it's first of all a guy that got on the field a little bit last year, and I thought had some real moments of stronger run defense, and then I didn't, did he set the world on fire this preseason? No, but I also didn't expect them to give up on him in year 2. So that's the thing that's
no,
surprising to me is he's a type of defensive tackle I didn't think they had much of. Like Mason obviously is a run first defensive tackle, but is just a far more complete player, twitchier, stronger, I think, in the parts of the lower body that matter the most to playing defensive tackle. Jowon is an unbelievably strong upper body, but I think Mason's a collectively stronger dude. And then, um, from the perspective of playing, understanding the nuance of run with the blocking scheme is that stuff. Obviously, he's a fifth overall pick. I think that checks out. But like, what I'm getting at is stylistically, I thought he made a lot of sense rotation
yes,
wise, and I thought he had moments in the preseason here that constituted being quite fine with him. And I fully also recognize, Brad, that Mike Hall probably going to go on IR, miss 4 games, come back. At this point, it feels way too late. I mean, it's never too late. Like you could come
yeah,
back the week of the first game. I don't want to speak in like an absolute there that's not positive, but with the knee situation, and I haven't even seen anybody take a picture of Mike. Like I haven't even seen him around the
no,
practice field. So my hunch when I wrote the prediction for the article was like he's going to be a first 4-week minimum guy, and that's why I kept Briggs as the 4th DT, and then I wavered on, do I want to keep Aiden Huntington? Do I have enough space? When you keep 3 quarterbacks, you got to cut from some other rooms, and that was one where I was like, all right, this seems pretty simple to solve. And then they traded him. So there are times where they trade players, Brad, where I'm like, maybe I miss a value. Maybe I don't understand his worth. I thought it was more than what it was. And this has happened before. I probably overestimated the impact of Amari Cooper last year. I probably overestimated the impact of Donovan Peoples-Jones as well. But there were also guys stepping into those spots that I had a little more belief in just the sheer talent of those targets going elsewhere, right? So, you live and learn on these things. And I don't want to sit here in a year's time and be like, man, it's really a big bummer that they let go of Jowon and he's having this success with
yeah,
the Jets. But my gut reaction was 2 things, and I'll throw it back to you and tell me what you thought. But I was surprised in the nature of the decision and stylistically. And I think that the name that I would presume is now making the roster is Aiden Huntington, but he's not similar to like, he
no,
becomes a more vertical disruption type where I do have some concerns about how well this interior D line helps stop the run. That's my
yes,
concern. I think they'll do fine getting after the passer, but the run defense stuff is a concern for me. And I thought Briggs did bring some level of like, if we want to go bare front and have 3D tackles on the field, he could be your nose tackle while you have Graham and Collins or Shelby Harris. But that doesn't seem to be the move. We'll see whether it works out or not. But I just was a little surprised. And the shift on the roster prediction was to move Huntington over. I think he must make the team now, Brad.
yeah. For me, Briggs was a roster guy, 10 to 15 snaps. When you need him in
Mm-hmm.
obvious run or when you want to get big up front, but and I had him, that's what I thought of him. And I thought that the thing that's crazy is it's like, okay, you're getting back a 2026 sixth, but like what you want to get with a 6th round pick is a guy like Jawan Briggs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm with you
so
on that.
what's the purpose, right? Like, So what it tells me, and I agree with you, is Aiden Huntington is likely to make the team at this point. Now, let me
Would you
ask you
think
this.
Kamara? I was going to ask you. Do you think Kamara is somebody I'm sleeping?
No,
He's been around.
practice
He's also
squad.
undersized, but not as good athletically as Huntington. I was trying to make sense of some of like where else
Yeah.
are you going here? Because like I kind of kept Ralph Holly on the practice squad, but yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But I just like, am I missing something here? Maybe they have some other plan up their
My
sleeve,
only thought was that Hall is coming back sooner.
or they are of the idea here of playing Alex Wright inside a little bit more,
Yeah.
which could
Does
be a plan.
does Schwartz carry? This is a question. Does Schwartz always carry 10 offensive linemen?
With
Like,
the
can they
defensive
go
line
with
stuff, I think it's
9
been like 9 at times before. I
defensive
think it
line
has
9?
been
Yeah.
under 10. It moves a little
Okay.
bit based on just the sheer like value of some of those guys. Like, do we want the rest of the league to have a crack at them kind of thing? So I think they
So
keep
maybe
9 because of the
it's
flexibility
9.
inside that McGuire and Wright have. That's where I lean that direction. I just haven't heard anything on Hall. I mean, I just like again, I haven't even
Yeah.
seen a
But
photo
I
of the
don't know if
guy.
we would though. That's the thing.
Maybe not. Maybe
They
not. I
don't. I
just feel
mean,
like he doesn't even show up outside ever. Like to not even like oh, there's my call,
yeah,
man. Good to see him out there. Just watching or what. I just find that to be a little bit interesting. It's been very quiet on that front. I maybe have to ask some people I know and see if there's any
yeah.
update on that.
It's a
But
good point. That's where my mind went though. Was Huntington's in, and maybe Hall's coming back sooner. But to your point that they carry 9, they're fine because you can kick Alex right inside. Now
mhm.
you can move a number. You can move Tryon Shoyinka inside. You can move these guys around a bunch if you want to. They have a bunch of um, players along the defensive line that are
I'm not worried
good.
about pass rush. I
Yeah,
just worry about run defense when they need some stops in the run game or
yeah,
that's where I'm concerned. Not that it's making or breaking the season here, but you do want to be able to handle run oriented teams to make life a little difficult on them. And I'm just curious if you're keeping Huntington is a little undersized, and I mean more than a little undersized. He's undersized, and if he's not able to withstand some of this stuff, you get a little concerned. But there's also still time to figure out if they have somebody else they're interested in. Right? There's about to be 1,000 players hit the market in
and they
6
may
days. So
have said we're fine with Kamara and Holly on the practice squad, or one of them
yeah.
on the practice squad, or
Mhm.
whatever. The question, the thing is, it's not a ton of value back, right? Um,
No. No,
like,
you're just kinda getting a pick for another opportunity.
yeah, I
Somebody
was
like
like,
Briggs.
give me, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You would hope to land a guy like Briggs with that pick, but my thing was like, give me the best corner that you're gonna cut, or a
Yeah.
corner that you is depth on your team. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, or maybe they take that sixth and use it on something like that.
What I
I
would
don't
say
know.
when we look at these trades, Brad, because the rest of the trades I'll just go through quickly here. The Chiefs end up moving Sky Moore, who's been a disappointing wide receiver draft for them. He was a second round pick 3 years ago.
Yep.
They ship him off with a 7th to the 49ers for a 6th. That's the identical trade, right? The
Yep.
Broncos took Devon Vele. They sent him to the Saints. It's a nice wide receiver, interesting tools. They got a 4th and the 7th back, so he was of a higher value. The Vikings traded Harrison Phillips, who's a veteran, back to the East Coast, back to the not. He hasn't played for the Jets. He's more notoriously with the Bills, but he plays now. He's sent over to the Jets. They sent him in a 7th for 2 6 rounds. That seems to be the trade. We'll give him and this player and a 7th to move up around later for a guy we plan to cut.
Yep.
So that seems to be the move. So if you're in the world of can the Browns get another DB or two, that seems to be the going rate for guys who we think we're going to cut this guy. We talked to the Giants, we talked to the Bills, we talked to whoever, and they're going to cut him. We can get him for a swap, 6-7
Yep.
swap. So if you're wondering again, moving some DB getting something over here, because I think that's where you and I have sort of settled. And I wrote that today, is like, this is the spot that I think I'm super nervous about the guys I had to put on the lock. Like most of the roster who I put on the locks portion, I didn't have concern about. There's concern about guys on the bubble that are going to probably make the roster,
Yeah.
but the lock guys, I had to put Cameron Mitchell and Miles Harden because I didn't have anyone else to put.
Yeah.
And that is
They're lost. Yeah.
that's not the talent level you'd hope for. So that's the type of trade that seems to be happening. We'll see if the Browns get in on it. I mean, Valet is an indication of this is a guy the league thinks a little more of, and some team wasn't. That's a good return. I mean, they got him as a UDFA, and you're turning him into a fourth and a seventh is the type of
Yeah.
result you really want. And they're deep enough at those type of receivers. It's an interesting deal for the Saints, but I digress a little bit. But that's the move, Brad. They got to make a move for a corner. That's just the spot I keep staring at and getting
Yeah.
overwhelmingly uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I feel about it. Turn, if it's a sixth, if it's a better corner, maybe it's a sixth,
Yeah.
and for or a fifth for you know what I mean, or just a round up and a guy that you're gonna cut, right? Um, I think it's interesting that you identified that trend, and that makes a lot of sense. So, yeah,
Well,
Sky
let's
Moore,
update here too, Brad. The Browns own
yeah,
their first 5 rounds of picks next year. They
yeah,
own the 6th round pick from Detroit, which will be the Za'Darius trade last year. 6th round pick from the Jets, which is the Jowon Briggs trade, and then they get a 7th rounder, which was a part of the trade for Za'Darius as well. It's a 7th rounder from Seattle that Detroit sent over for that. So they've got their first 5, and then they've added, the first rounder, as we know, that you get thrown into it, and then those additional 6s and 7s. So
which
yeah, I
they
mean, it's a
threw
good
all
start.
the way to come up and get Shador this year. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if it's about getting a player that you think could help, you would like to see him do it, right? At least I
Right.
would.